by the subject that comes to mind, and that is 2-Bit and Power Force. When it comes down to it, this is a character that I thought would have been in Force a long time ago. Someone I thought that would have ended up in Force Season 1, or potentially like late in Season 1 or in Season 2, but I'm hoping that he will be in Force Season 3. 2-Bit's character is a power character that's always been around. He's always loomed around ever since Dre's been on the scene. He comes from Dre's crew. Him and Dre and Spanky have all been friends for years. They grew up together, and they were pretty much close friends. But when they eventually found out that Dre was loyal to nobody, they pretty much had to move against Dre, and they became enemies. Now, 2-Bit's character was always associated with Spanky. They were always close and always putting their work together, but he always stood out as his own character. He was pretty much the straight man, while Spanky was the comedian. However, 2-Bit eventually became his own character, and he pretty much just, did his own thing, so much to the point that he was working directly for Kanan, and then he was working directly for Tommy. And in the end of Power, the first series, he ended up working for Ghost, especially completing the job of taking out Dre along with Spanky. However, he played a big part in Spanky being gone as well, because Spanky turned traitor and started snitching on people, namely Tommy. 2-Bit now has been moving on his own. He's been showing up in Book 2 Ghosts from the very beginning. He was in Season 1. He wasn't in Season 2, but he was in Season 3 and Season 4. He's a character who I personally thought would have ended up in Force because of his relationship with Tommy. Heck, I even said I could see him being in Book 2 Ghosts as somebody with Tariq, working with Tariq crew, but that never happened. Now, when it comes down to it, will he end up in Force final season? Anything can kind of happen in Force final season because it's the end. They're wrapping up the storyline. And so with that being said, everyone wrapping up the story, and we're going to see how everything play out with that. Hopefully 2-Bit does show up. Apparently Tommy's going to be in a situation where he needs help, so much to the point he's reaching out to his nephew Tariq. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tommy was to reach out to 2-Bit and try to ask him for help as well, probably early, versus calling Tariq. And so when it comes down to it, 2-Bit showing up in Power Force, like either from the very beginning or in the middle, would make a lot of sense, because it's someone who's always had Tommy's back, someone who worked with Tommy very well. They usually work good together, and they never really had a problem other than Lakeisha. Lakeisha started, talking junk out of nowhere to 2-Bit, and 2-Bit stood his ground, which almost caused a conflict between 2-Bit and Tommy. However, when it comes down to it, they, as far as we know, both still get along, but I think it was Lakeisha who played a part in the two kind of cutting ties with one another. But I don't think that should still be the case. I think right now, when it comes down to it, 2-Bit's character is doing his own thing, but this is a character I think that should be more present in the Power series, especially with him being around in the original series and in Book 2 Ghosts. And he's someone who can work, someone who can do things. He's very loyal, very street. This is somebody that you want in your corner. So I could always see him being around Tariq and working for Tariq, but then at the same time, he's a character that I always saw that would end up with Tommy, working with Tommy. Maybe we'll finally get that in Force, the final season. Maybe we'll finally get that in the Tommy and Tariq show. We don't know. But I think he's too good of a character to just have out there doing whatever. He's a character that should show up, be a part of something, and we can see how he moves. As far as we know about him, he's very loyal, he's very real, he's just scared of nobody, he can do things, he's a very capable character, and to be honest with you, he reminds me a lot of Kanan. And so when it comes down to it, I would say we should have 2-Bit around a bit more, but we'll see. I just want to say to all of you that it is your boy Bobby Beast here. Just say much love, much respect. Hold it down and hold on.